You're welcome back from that short break. We still keep it simple and we are on to our main discuss segments. For some couple of days now we've been discussing relationship matters. If I can remember vividly, we started with singlehood. We explained what it means by being single and the benefit of being single. Then we went ahead to discuss courtship. We discussed courtship yesterday, the processes involved in courtship, and today we wrap up the topic by discussing marriage. Well, we have a very wonderful person with us today, our august guest visitor. It's no other person than Mr. Femi Oshofowora. He's the founder of Winning Singles and Married Ministry, and he's going to be sharing a whole lot of remarks with us on the topic relationship matters. Good morning, sir. You're welcome on the program.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I hope you didn't burn much for having to get down to the Gulf TV studios. Yeah, well, let's get started. So, sir, we're discussing relationship matters, and yeah, we have been able to look at singlehood. We've been able to look at courtship. But briefly, before we go to today's topic, I want you to to explain what courtship is, and of course, it's what leads to marriage. So we cannot just go into marriage without looking at what courtship is. So in your own terms, what is courtship and what are the processes involved?
Yeah, I want to say thank you and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, courtship, as it is the beginning process of getting married. Courtship involves a guy and a lady, and it's a process, is a time where two of them have to come together to know each other, to ensure that they plan towards marriage. Courtship is a time where the lady and the guy get to know each other very well in order to determine whether the marriage is prospective or not. Yes. So courtship is also a process where we get to extend our relationship to our parents, our friends, and a time where in a conventional world, courtship is, some people feel courtship is a time where two of them have to go out to catch fun, and well, it's part of it, but far beyond that, what do you have to know about this guy? What do you have to know about the lady before the marriage? Because when you get married eventually, the fun might not really help out, but the knowledge you have acquired will be able to we speak, and from there you'll be able to have a good married life.
Thank you very much, sir. If I'm to quote you, said from the conventional world, so persons view courtship as a time to catch fun, get to know each other. I would like you to explain what's the difference between courtship and dating. Christian courtship. How does it differ from dating? Because there's this mindset that dating is of the world or something. But I want you to clarify things. What is the interrelationship between the two terms?
As it is, dating and courtship are the beginning process of getting married.
Okay.
Yes. But now, dating is, well, dating is not really allowed in the Christendom. Why courtship is. Are you getting me? So now, dating as a guy can date more than 2 or 3 persons, because dating does not have a specific vision. You understand? But courtship, when you're in courtship, you can't court more than 1 person. So you can date 1 or 2 persons, believing that I could just go ahead and pick up somebody that is suitable to me. You understand? So in Christendom, it is not dating, but it is courtship. So dating is a process where a guy and a lady get to know, build up relationship that may not end anywhere. You understand? Except maybe
by love or chance.
But courtship is a period where a guy and a guy and a lady come together and they're able to say, no, we want to build a home, we want to build a marriage.
Okay, so is there a specific age for courtship? Like there's this specific age you have to get to before you can say, yes, I am good to go, I'm good to court someone?
There is no specific age, but to me, I would say there are some things you should put in your plan before you can say, yeah, I want to start thinking of courtship. Number one, you should be able to, what have you achieved? You should be able to have outlined what are those things you have achieved. What knowledge have you acquired? What is the level of your maturity? Because in courtship, you deal with the other person based on the knowledge you have acquired and your maturity. And if those two are absent, then it may break up at the end.
In courtship, how do you acquire knowledge concerning courtship? Because there are some people that say, okay, let's just go into courtship without knowing the in-depth of courtship. What are the platforms to know this is exactly what you do, apart from going to pastors, apart from going to elders in the church? How well do they acquire knowledge to know maybe they're in the right courtship?
Okay, you acquire knowledge from so many aspects.
Okay.
Number one, the time spent together is knowledge and ideas shared.
Okay.
Number two, you also get to acquire knowledge by attending certain relationship programs. And from there you get to know who the person, you get to know what are the steps I need to take. Because training or seminars or relationship conferences, they are ways of building you, creating this kind of right mindset in you. Then before you know it, you get to, because there's no way you go to such programs or trainings and it will not really affect your relationship. So it will affect your relationship either positively or negatively. So from there you get to know whether this person is not right for me or this person is right for me.
That means the two people involved had to be in that seminar, to be in that program to know, because if it's one person, the other person won't be convinced.
The two people involved must ensure that it might not be one seminar.
Yes.
It might not be the same seminar, but they must have this orientation that no, I need to build up myself by attending some of these seminars, by attending relationship programs, especially church programs, because these are ways by which they can acquire more knowledge, biblical knowledge, in order to have a good relationship.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now right after courtship, let's go into the marriage thing proper. So, what do you think marriage is, and what is God's intention when He instituted this institution called marriage?
Wow. Well, I'm still young in marriage, but I think I'm just about 4 years, and I should be able to say one or two things. Marriage is, the intention of God for marriage is for everyone to enjoy marriage. Now, I have heard so many preachers, so many speakers who said marriage is to be enjoyed and not endured. But I'm always coming up with my own different view. Marriage is to be enjoyed and to be endured. Because the reason why it should be endured is because you are two different people coming from two different backgrounds. You have your individual differences. You have your own orientation. He has his own orientation. And when these things are brought together, then there must be the man or the lady or two of them must have to endure with each other. You have to blend and bond. Because if you don't enjoy the character of the other person, there's no way you enjoy it. So most time at the starting point, it is always difficult. Okay, for instance, when I got married, there was a time I just came back from work and got into the parlor, and myself and my wife started talking about certain things. And at a point, she was just angry, and she said, I didn't even know you are like this. You were not like this when I used to know you before we got married. But she had to endure some of my, because during the process of enduring is a process where you also need to correct each other, because you have your own orientation, and every man's orientation is always different from the woman's orientation. So I used to say that man thinks of the result, while the ladies think of the process. The lady want to understand the process. He want to go through the process in order to enjoy the marriage. But the man is far thinking beyond that. Man is thinking, no, what is the result? What is the end result of this? So marriage is to be enjoyed and to be endured. Number 2, in the Bible, there is always a need for a man to sleep. Adam had to sleep in order so that Eve can come alive.
Okay.
Now, when God caused Adam to sleep, and when he slept, it was then his best was able to come out. Now, the sleep could not, you be patient with your wife so that your best can come out. The sleep could connote to the unmarried, the sleep could connote you surrendering yourself, your totality to God, so that God can bring out that virtue, that the best out of you. Are you getting me? So marriage is far more than what people think it is. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed also, because I have had a lot of people. A lady came to me and was saying that I am tired of my husband. I said, what happened? She said, all I know about my husband, anytime he laughs with me, is when maybe I have some money with me, or when he wants to have sexual intercourse with me.
Okay.
He said, outside those 2 things, I will never see my husband laugh. So everybody has his own experiences in marriage, but marriage is something that God wants every one of us to enjoy. We need to pass through the process of enduring, then at the end of the day enjoy it.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to make reference to the Bible, and you already stated that already. Where how God brought about Eve from Adam, and they just automatically got joined together. There was no period where they had to cut, getting to know each other. Automatically things just happen. Why? Because God is involved.
Yes.
I want to also make reference to where Isaac was supposed to get married. His father Abraham said he should get married from his kindred, and he entrusted that responsibility to his servants. And when this lady was brought forth, he sighted her from afar off. She alighted from the camel, and they just got to know each other, and that was all. And he knew her and everything. So there was really no time to there was no time they had courtship, getting to know each other. Look at the case of Ruth with Boaz.
Yes.
Okay, fine. She was working on his farmland, but it was not as though they really had that secluded time. Like, okay, this is the period we need to know each other. So things that era in the Bible is quite different from now. But marriages still work out then.
Yes.
Now that we have time to even know each other before we go into the marriage, there are lot of statistics of failing marriages and everything. So what do you think is the reason for this? Why those differences? Because people just feel you cannot just meet someone now, and because it's God's leading, God showed how to meet him, and automatically let me just be like Isaac and his wife, and they got married immediately. So why did this disparity?
Yes, I will say that it is so painful that a lot of young folks now are faking the words of God. They are faking this word God told me.
Yeah.
I have heard so many cases where, you know, the lady will say, God is leading me, and the marriage is heading to nowhere. Now, those days, there were times where those guys submitted all their totalities to God. They knew God, they understand God's standard, and they were not misled. Now, everything you can't. And now, if I was preaching at Olabisi Obanjo, I was talking about relationship, and I was saying that if you as a lady, if a guy tells you I love you, you must understand the meaning of her. You must understand what O stands for. If you don't understand what V stands for, and E, because it could mean anything, it could mean different things. So that is one aspect. So in those days, now look at it. God, just like you said, God was directly involved.
Yeah.
Look at Abraham. Abraham was a committed man of God that had God, you know, as just like we are hearing me.
Face to face.
They knew the standards of God, and they were not confused about it. If a guy comes to you now and says, God told me you are my wife, do you know that such person, if such person meets another maybe higher man of God, the person may be confused, or may even change his words and say, now where I'm just feeling God is telling me. You understand? So those days they knew what God wanted, and they were doing it. God was directly involved. They committed everything to God. But these days, if God is not the center of the message, then regret will be the end.
In addition to what you said, I will agree with you in that aspect, because I once spoke with one of my my mentor. I was telling me that when he was searching for a wife and he was looking up to God, he fasted, he prayed and all that, and when he was about to end that fast, a lady came to him, so he thought automatically that is the woman. That is the woman that God, you are so good, you answer prayer so fast. You understand? But as time goes on, when he continued praying, and he heard a voice and say, he had a dream that he was inside was about to take water from the well, and this thing is actually taking it inside of him, dragging the bucket, and he was the one going down. Wow. So when interpreted, he said, this girl is actually going to put me into trouble, put me into sin that I would never had committed on my own. But after on, he said that the word God was actually pointing towards the lady which is not of his taste. That on a normal ground, he wouldn't have gone to that girl and said, I want to marry you. God actually told me to marry you and all that. I think we young youths, we tend to like our own desire, we bring it first before the word of God. Yes, and we tend to like, okay, when we pray about our own partner, we are praying for actual somebody there, not for God, who God has actually directed us to. So in this aspect, how do we go about it? Yes, we have our own desire, we have our own taste, we have our own selections among those people. How do we go about it? Is it that we just have to go by the word of God, or how do you go about it?
Yeah, I think the best way to go about it is not to have alternative.
Okay.
Because most time, young ones have alternative and places the alternative before God. So God is the ultimate. He is the designer of your life. So he has the graph of your life. So when you go to God, just have a plain mind. God, I need this, and this is what I need. It is not that you have somebody, like a lady was talking to me. I was saying that I want to go and meet my pastor. I've written down like 5 names. She said, I have 5 names. Actually, she went to the pastor. The pastor said, okay, I have prayed. B is the answer. She said she went to give the names
So another person.
to her mom.
Okay.
The mom gave it to another pastor, and that pastor also said D is the answer.
Okay.
So the lady was confused. I told her, I said, come, if you build your life based on alternatives, then you will end up, unfortunate. I said, you are your own prophet. And if your prophet, you being a prophet, you don't know God, then you are tend to make mistakes. I get me. So it is you committing everything to God. I say, God, what is your plan for my life? He said, the plan I have for you, they are of peace, to give you an expected end. So God has his own hand about your life with him. So you don't need any alternative. You only need him to give you the best out of all.
Thank you very much, sir.
Alright,
Can I have a question?
I would like you, sir, to really hammer on this personal relationship with God as to having a conviction.
Okay.
You know, some people of this current generation, it is only when it is time that we want to get married. That's when we start seeking the face of God. You know, that is when they start praying, they start fasting, they start going from mountain to mountain, from different pastors to the other. Whereas on a norm, you don't even communicate with God, and you expect God to, to respond to you and to tell you that this and this is the person that you get married to. I feel that as individuals, we should have, it is this personal relationship with God that would lead us to this next level.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how God speaks with you, if you don't have a good communication link with him, then you won't know when he's telling you that, hello, this is the person, or this is the right time for you to do this. This is the person you should be with at this particular time. I want you to reiterate the importance of this personal relationship with God as to leading to marriage.
All right. The other time I was talking about 3 stages of our lives. Now, the first stage begins from 0 stage to 25 stage, when we are 0 age to 25th age, and this is the time where you need to get yourself committed to God, and this is all about you. So when you move with God, when you get close with God, you will know what God expects you or wants you to do. Now, the first 25 years of your life should be all about you. How do I know God more? How do I build myself? How do I equip myself? How do I gather knowledge that will help me in my second stage of life? And it is during that process you get to know how God speaks to you, how you relate with God. So it won't be a problem when you get to the second stage of your life, which is from 25 years to like 50 years. So when you now start making decision of who to marry, of course, because of your relationship in time past, because of the relationship you have built with God, you'll be able to know, this is where God is leading me to. And you won't be part of those who are faking the voice of God, saying God is telling me this, and it is not. So it is important we get to know what God really wants us to do. Who is God to us individually? People know God, collectively, because this is the gathering of the Christians, but this is where God stays. Who is that God to you individually? So when you get to know who God is, you'll be able to know. He'll be able to tell you, you'll be able to recognize his voice, then he'll be able to tell you when it is time.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask that at what point do people get it wrong? Getting it wrong in the sense that before they got into marriage, they actually know God. They heard his voice, as in he led them into that marriage. You understand? They submitted themselves to the will of God and he chose for them. And everything started fine. But along the line, the marriage is not working. And they'll feel like, God, what happened now? This is the person, as in I prayed, I got the conviction from you. This is who you said is mine. This is my bone of my bone, flesh of my bone. So what happened? Why is things this way? So at what point do people get it wrong? That what happened, what seemed right, what seemed best option for them initially, now go sir?
Yes, that's a very sensitive question, and I like that. Now, if I come across such a person, the first question I will ask is, how can you convince me it was God that told you? Now, if I'm convinced that indeed God led you into this marriage, then the other aspect of it is paramount, which is what I was talking about the other time, knowledge. Because knowledge is key in order to know how to relate with each other. So if you acquire knowledge, enough knowledge, because if I have enough knowledge, if I acquire knowledge I can acquire knowledge on how to deal with you, how we can relate well. Because I said the other time, we came from different backgrounds. Individual differences we speak, no matter how spiritual we are. You have your ways of doing things because of your background, which is not wrong. I have my ways of doing things based on my background, which is not wrong. And now two backgrounds coming together. So knowledge is needed in order to sustain that marriage. So at that point, when a lady got married, I told her, I said, now if you can, I was just saying, I said, if you can manage or try to understand very well your spouse in your first 6 months or 1 year, then just be assured that your marriage will work. Why? Because that is the point, that is the time where individual differences will speak, it will show forth. That does not mean that the other issues will not come up even after 10 years in marriage, because you cannot know yourself, completely. But how trained are you on how to handle individual differences? What is my knowledge about your character? How do I handle your weaknesses? And because most time your weakness might be my own strength point. My strength can be, and that is compatibility. Now, how then do we marry these things together to ensure that we're able to work out something to get marriage work out? So that is the point where people really get it wrong, and marriage is now. I'm sure this is this news has gone viral where two people just got married because of toothpaste. Because of now, let me give you another example. I heard of a famous church where two of them, they just got married, and they got home, and the brother could not wait. The brother told the wife, madam, let's go and shower then sleep. The lady was, because she felt she was a virgin, the lady was somehow, because she had not done it before, and
she was afraid.
I don't know the kind of orientation she had about it. So when the brother removed everything, and just for him to, the lady was still like, hey. The brother was like, what happened? He said, just go and go and shower. So the bros went to shower. Before he came back, the wife
you are taking to wow.
So they had to sit her down and educate her and tell her, no, this is how it should be. I'm scared.
Wow. So knowledge is the key.
Is the key to a sustainable marriage.
Wow. And I was asked by saying that God can never be wrong. If He led you into something and initially it's fine, like you're okay, but as time goes on, things go sour, then you need to check yourself. You are the one that have gone amiss. You're probably not working in this line or in this purpose of you've disconnected from Him. So at every point in time, you should know that God can never make mistake. He can never be wrong. If anything goes wrong, then you need to check yourself. Quickly, sir, I would like to ask you that marriage is not about just two people.
Yes.
We cannot shy away from the fact that people will still be around us, families, friends, and everything. So how do we curb the problems that family relatives bring into marriage, because most marriages, I know the problem they have is not about themselves alone, but their relationship with other people that are actually key, probably the in-laws and everything. So how do you manage your marriage in such a way that you do not have conflict with your relative, your in-laws and families?
Yeah, I will first say that you should know your spouse. Now, from our Sunday school, we've been learning, there was a time we learned about individual traits. Sanguine, choleric, melancholy, and phlegmatic. You should know who your spouse really is. Because if you don't know, you'll not be able to marry both your spouse and your families, and even your families. So if you know what your wife or your husband likes or dislikes, then it will curtail your relationship with the extended family. So it is very important to know, is my husband, is he really accommodating? And if he is, you know, there are some husbands, there are some even wives, they don't accommodate their own families, even in their own homes. They don't. They believe it is me and my wife. And as husband, if that is your husband, you should know and be able to, because your priority should be centered on your marriage and not even your own family anymore. Yeah. And sometimes families break homes, and you should not place your family before your spouse. So if you are able to understand all of these things and get to know what is my spouse's reaction about it, then you'll be able to know the decision you're going to make. So it is very important to know, is he accommodating? If he is, fine, how do I then relate with my... There's some wives, like my wife, last time she told me, your family, you didn't call them. I'm the one that's always calling them. I'm the one that's always calling them. I don't want them to be thinking it is me that is. So that's when we now got to our family, our get together, and this discussion came up. They said, just the Femi. Femi, even before he got married, he does not usually call. So nobody here should be thinking it is his wife that is. So I have created, I said yes, so nobody should think. So I had to create that notion also that no, I don't call. If you call me back, I can call you back. That I will now naturally call you, I may not do that. So it is very important you understand your spouse.
Yeah. Okay, quickly, sir. I would like to ask you, still on this conviction issue.
Okay.
The role of parent approval. There are times when you will get a conviction and the rest, and your parents might not approve, and you feel that you are still being led. I've heard of stories where he or she had conviction and parents did not approve. They went into it and the marriage did not last, and they started hearing, "I told you so." And there were also instances where the parents did not approve and they went ahead and they did great.
Yeah, parental consent is very, very vital. Else, the marriage may not work out. Now, God is not an author of confusion. If God wants you to go into... Okay, let me give you a practical example. Before I got married, my father-in-law was this kind of man that... I came from Ogun State. They are from Ekiti State. That time, he told my wife, don't bring anybody from Ogun State. Parental consent is very... So if they give their consent, then God is in support. Now, you don't feel God is leading you and your parents will go against it. If God indeed is leading you, God has a way of convincing that your parents. Might not be at the beginning.
But later.
But when I got married, before I got married, I had to pray to God and say, God, this man must accept. I just got into the house one day and the man just felt, Femi, how are you? I said, fine, sir. Then I had kata. He was one that was even saying, oh, hey, go and get him something to... This is the man that even told my wife, then my fiancé, that no, send him out of my room, send him out. So I ensured that I had his consent before I could think of whatever. So if God is involved, parental consent will work.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Please quickly, I would like you to share what you do with us. Basically, I know you're the founder of a ministry which we call the Winning Singles and Married Ministry. So what is this ministry all about, and how are you faring?
Yeah, we bless God. God is the author of everything. Now, Winning Singles and Married Ministry is a ministry that is poised down to building and inculcating that scriptural truth about our relationship, so that we can all have a long-standing and godly relationship. That is the core vision. So it has been since 2010, and we've been having series of programs. Like the current program we do run is called one of them is called PMS, Position, Money and Sex. Now these are three key factors that breaks marriages. Position, when husband must understand, you must understand your position as a husband. The wife must understand her position at home. You must understand your activities, what are the duties of individual, even in the family. And money is always seems as the number one thing that break marriages, because without money, sometimes the question of love will be asked. Love will be tempted. I guess so. Money is also a key factor that break most, even prospective marriages, and of course sex that has broken a whole lot of homes, and that's one of the programs we run. And I've heard so many testimonies all around that God has been grateful, and God has been fruitful to us. Then we also do our annual programs, annual get together, where young ones come together. Let's talk about love. What is real love? What is this love? So that we won't, no guy will come to you and say, I love you, and you'll be crazy that, oh, he loves me. What does that love really mean? So, and so many things. We also do WhatsApp weekly forum, and it's been great.
Wow, that's a very good one. Well, I would like you to share your last word with us, with the viewers, like your advice, whether they are singles, whether they are married.
All right.
Share your last
My
word.
advice is, you as a single, the number one priority you should have is God. If God is involved, nothing stops you. Then as married couples, I want you to get to know yourself more, love your spouse more, and put God as in the center of the message, and it will be well.
Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Nice meeting you.
Femi
Nice having you on the show.
Oshofowora. Thank you very much for this wealth of wisdom you've shared with us. And to Miriam Hamuki, thank you. To our viewers, thank you very much for staying tuned to Gov TV to watch Keep It Simple. I really hope you've enjoyed this, this episode this week, because it has actually been back to back. It has been very, very awesome. Yeah, from the whole thing, I deduce that wisdom is the principal thing in all you're getting. Get understanding. So if you want your marriage to work out, you have to have a relationship with God, who is the giver of wisdom and who is the originator of marriage. Whether you are single or you're married, wisdom is just what you need to get, and it is from God you can get. So on this note, we'll wrap up. You join us next week. We'll be here to do what we know how to do, and we hope to have you. You could send your comments and contributions to Official Gov TV on Twitter, on Instagram and Facebook. We'd love to have your comments. Thank you very much. Remain blessed and enjoy your weekend.